How's it going, YouTube? Right, have you ever wanted a bit more usability out of your car stereo system? For example, streaming services and downloading additional apps and things like that. Especially people like myself. I'm an iPhone user, I use Carplay and stuff like that. And as everybody knows, Carplay and iPhones are really boring and you can't really add lots of things that you want to add on. So assuming your car's got CarPlay capabilities and you can plug a phone into your car, one thing you can use is an AI box. What AI boxes are is basically a little box that you can plug into your CarPlay plug and use through CarPlay on your car, and it's basically an Android operating system mini computer, and then you can put apps and things like that on it and streaming services and do what you want. Today we've got one to look at. This is the Ottocast P3. This one's got like a HDMI output, so you can have a screen mirror into rear screens and things like that. So this is a little bit higher spec than what you usually get in these boxes. So like usual, what we'll do is we'll get this on the bench, we'll get it unboxed, we'll go through some of the specs and have a look at the ports and things around it and what you can do with it. I've got a 2019 Hyundai Tucson, that's got CarPlay capabilities on it, so we can plug this into the CarPlay plug on there and see how it works, and we'll take it for a spin and see what it does. We'll go through a few of the features, and then what I might do is we'll plug in the HDMI 2 output into something, so we'll find a screen or something just to show that working. So like usual, I'll put links down below where you can check these things out yourself. I think I've got a discount code as well, so I'll put that down below in the description, so please check that out, save yourself a bit of money. So let's get on the bench, let's unbox this, and let's have a look and see what it's like. Right, so here we have it. This is the Ottocast P3 AI box. As we can see on the box, this is an 8GB RAM with 128GB ROM for additional applications. We've got online over-the-air updating, so we can update that at any time. And it says we've got a HD output there, which is a HDMI output for a second screen. So let's get it open and let's see what you get inside the box. Right, so if we slide this cover off here, the first thing we can see is the unit itself. It looks quite a little snazzy unit actually, and it feels quite weighty and quite well made. But we'll have a look at this in a second. Also in the box, we've got a few different USB leads and some instructions with a look at it. We've got a user manual and a little how to install thing there. We've got a USB-C to USB-C cable there, and a USB-A to USB-C cable there. The USB-C is on this end, so whether your car is USB-A or USB-C, you can use which cable is the most suitable. Obviously, USB-C has more power to it, so if you're using power-hungry apps that are really taking this to its limit, what we've got here is a little pass-through cable there. So as you can see via these instructions, you can add a second power to it there. So you can increase the power going through this USB-A connection to the USB-C connection on the unit itself, if that is what is needed. What we'll do first is we'll not bother with that, and we'll just try it with the USB-A to the USB-C from my vehicle. My vehicle is USB-A. Looking at the unit itself, as you can see, it's quite reflective and quite nice looking as well. We'll just take off this little cover here. What we've got is round this side here, we've got some ambient lighting, so this should look quite nice in the vehicle. This is like a hard plastic, quite reflective top, so it looks like glass, but it's actually not. But it's quite a high quality finish, to be honest. Looking round the edge, we've got a micro SD card there for some extra memory, and if we open this little flap, we've got micro SD card there for some extra memory, and we've got a nano SIM as well, so we can actually add a SIM card to this to make this a standalone unit, so you don't need to even add a phone to it if you want. So the navigation and all the apps and everything else you can use through the SIM card in this, if that's how you want to go. I have got a spare SIM card, so I will add one to this just to see how that works. We've got USB-C input there and a HDMI output there. This HD output here is one of those little mini HDMI outputs, so to use this I'll see if I've actually got a cable. On the website there is actually an option where you could buy this with the HDMI cable and a remote control as well, so you won't need to faff around trying to find your own cable. So I will try and find a cable so we can try this out. On the bottom we've got the usual ventilation. It's got some little feet as well just to keep it stood up, so it does get a nice bit of ventilation around it, but overall it feels kind of nice. Specifications of this is it's using a Qualcomm Snapdragon 665 CPU. We're running on Android 12. We've got 2.4 GHz, 5 GHz Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 5, and it's running on the Ottodrive 2.0 operating system. So this should be different to the Ottocast that we was looking at before. We'll have a look at it and see what it's like. And as I mentioned, we've got the ambient lights round the edge that you can set up to make us look as pretty as you like. So I think what we'll do now is let's take this out to the vehicle, let's plug it in and see how it works. So let's go. Right, here we are. This is inside the vehicle. This is the standard stereo system. This is, like I said, it's a 2019 Hyundai Tucson. This time I've not been lazy. I've drove away from home, so I don't have to blur out all the navigation and all that sort of stuff because it just creates for a distracting video. Down here, this is the USB socket there. That's where you normally plug in for your CarPlay device. This is not wireless CarPlay. This is just a wired CarPlay, as is a lot of cars. Once you start getting over about 4 or 5 years old, they tend to be a wired CarPlay rather than a wireless. I think it's only really the newer ones that are wireless. But for this to work, you do need a wired CarPlay on your vehicle, so you need the capability already there. When I plug my phone in, what this normally does is this comes up with CarPlay there, so then I press that and it goes into the CarPlay screen. Right, what we need to do is we've got the Ottocast P3 there. I've plugged in the USB-A to USB-C cable, and what we'll do is if I put it down there, we need to plug it in and get it all powered up. As you can see there, the ambient lighting's come on, so it looks all nice and pretty. And if we look up here, we'll just wait a few seconds. This is obviously the first startup. I've never tried this before, so it might take a bit longer. As you can see there, it says Apple CarPlay. If we press that, we go into the Ottocast screen. So let's let it start up through its starting sequence. It might take a bit longer this first time because it's got to set up all the resolution to match the screen and everything else. We've got a little warning display there. We can tick this box here, no longer displayed, so we don't see that again. We'll press agree and accept. And then there we are, we're into the first opening screen. So let me have a play with this for a minute. I'll now set the camera up so we've got a bit less of a wobbly video while we have a look through it. One thing I do need to mention is around here under that little rubber flap, I've actually installed a SIM card into it. Like I said, it takes a nano SIM, so we've installed a SIM card into it, and as you can see, we've got a 4G connection there already, so we've already got internet on it. What I will do before I do anything else, let's just go into the apps. Let's go down, because we've got 4G, system upgrade. Let's see if there's a software. Oh yeah, new version upgrade, current version, latest version. Let's update this, one-click update, look. Let's download the latest version and upgrade all that first before we do anything. We want to make sure we're on the latest version of this software. So I'm going to let that update. I'll have a play around with the screen. I'll get to know how to use this, and I'll see you back in a second and we'll talk through it. Right, it's all updated. I've not really changed anything on this screen. All I've really done is taken off this sidebar just to make it look a little bit cleaner. It has got there, look, you see this little floating button. You can press it and hold it. If I press that, that gives the same sidebar options just there. So you can press that to go to home. And then what that'll do is then that'll just fade away. It just makes this side look a little bit cleaner, that's all. I updated to the latest software. I don't know what changes it's made, but we're on the latest version now. As I said, this runs on Android. It runs on Android 12. Just like any other Android system, you can modify all this to how you want it to be. If you just press a widget and hold, you can move it around. If we go to the next screen, actually, this is a little game I've just installed from the Play Store. But if we press and hold, that'll say add widget, and then we can add the widgets and make the screen look exactly how we want it to look. So just like that, we can add some widgets about. We can go into the apps over here, and we can also press and hold those and add those to the screen as well, just like that. So we can set up any shortcuts or anything we want and set this screen up exactly how we want it to be, just like any other Android device. As I've said, we're currently connected to 4G, which means we've always got internet on this. So if I press the maps, that'll go straight into our navigation. I've currently got this set up. Ooh, let's go into dark theme, shall we? I've currently got it set up so it's on Google, but you can change that to be whatever you want it to be. So you can use your preferred navigation app. I'm not going to go into super detail about everything on this because these videos can get really boring really fast. But as you saw then, if you just press exit, that takes you back to the original car stereo system. So we can press Carplay, and then that takes us into the Ottocast operating system. So if we go into settings, go to personalization, that's where I turned off that sidebar and things like that. We've got lots of little settings we can change in there. So if I can turn off that floating assistant look and turn on the sidebar, let's give it a restart, and what you'll see is this sidebar will appear back there again. So it's starting back up again, and as you can see, we've got this sidebar back on there. So I'll just leave that on for now. On that sidebar, this top one on it, this takes you to the applications. These are the already installed applications that we've already got on. Subway Surf, I installed that myself because if you want to play games, you can. If that's something you'd like to do, I just wanted to show you the capability that we can actually do that. And it runs these games pretty well, to be honest, as you can see, just like that. And as you can see, swiping in from the right hand side brings us this sidebar back up there, so we can get back to the home screen. The next one down is this takes us through to a few settings. This is a few quick settings, look, so we can see the RAM that's used, we can see how much memory in the CPU and things like that. You can even clear the cache if that's something you want to do. Ignore the battery discharge warning, that's my car, that's because I'm just sat here with the ignition on. If we go into the apps, you can see down here we've got this Play Store, so you can log into that and download any apps that you want to download, just like any other Android phone. So you can make this as personalised as what you want it to be, which means using things like Netflix and YouTube and things like that, and the screen itself is nice and responsive. Now you can see the advantage of getting rid of this sidebar here and just having the little dot that appears when you press the screen. But this is nice and responsive. Let's have a quick look at YouTube. This is the same, nice and responsive. So if I put one of my videos on here, let me turn it down so you're not listening to me 3 times. But this is a nice HD display. And as you can see, when we go to full screen, it gets rid of this sidebar as well. So that's not annoying and coming in your way. But we've got a nice good quality picture there. What we will do while we're here actually is we've got here a latency test, because a lot of people ask about the latency on these things. So if I turn the volume up so you can hear it, you can see there it's pretty bang on with the sound sync through the speakers. Because you do find a lot of these devices, they have a bit of a lag. What I will do in a later video actually is I have given away a lot of the ones I've tested, but I do have a pile of them still. What I will do is I'll do a big comparison with latency, because I always seem to miss this in my reviews. But as you can see here, doing it on this one, if I turn it up, that's pretty bang on with the sync. So all your streaming services, it's good for things like that. And obviously at the minute I'm using it through this SIM card as well. If you want to connect to your phone, just connect like Bluetooth like normal. So if you're wanting to go into CarPlay, what you need to do is go to this multiplay here. We can actually add that as a shortcut on the screen to make it a little bit easier to get to. So we've added it on there. If we press into the multiplay, This is either CarPlay or Android Auto, depending on how you connect to it. So what we need to do is we need to connect our phone to this. So that's what I'll do now. And then there we are. You can see CarPlay's started up nice. And just like everything else, it's running nice and responsive. I'll not get into the entire CarPlay thing because CarPlay's CarPlay. If I click on Hyundai, that takes us back to the Ottocast screen. If we ever want to go back from this back to the original car stereo, we can just press this little quick menu button here, and then it's got an exit button there which takes us back out to the original car stereo. At any time, what we can do is we can press this applications button and hold it for a few seconds, and then that'll swap between any of the open applications we've got, so you can swap between anything you want quite quickly. What you can also do is if you press this back button and hold this, that will also open the split screen. So you can use this split screen option. You can resize it as well, depending on what you're doing to what you want to be. And then when you've finished doing your multitasking, you can pull it all the way across, and that literally just cancels it and puts it back into one screen. We've got some other little bits built into it as well, like this ambient light. This is where you can change the light settings on the actual unit itself, so you can make it glow up in whatever colour you want, which is also quite nice. As you can see in the apps, there's plenty of apps that come already installed on this thing. The only thing that wasn't was that Subway Surfer. But what I can say is this whole thing, this is really responsive and nice to use. So what I need to do now is we need to nip home, because I'd bought like this little CCTV monitor here, so we could plug it into this HDMI output, but I forgot the mini HDMI to normal HDMI adapter, so I just need to nip home and get that. So what we'll do is I'll nip home, I'll stick on YouTube or something, and then we'll show it running on both screens. Right, I've got that plugged in. Don't worry about the messy cables, because you probably wouldn't have that if it was all set up properly. But I've got a little mini HDMI adapter there plugged into normal HDMI, and then that's plugged into this CCTV monitor here, which, as you can see now, is mirroring this screen. I've got a little spinny thing because at home I've got a bit of a crappy internet signal. As you can see, it's mirroring the screen there. So if you've got any screens in the rear, then all it's doing is it's mirroring this exact display. Let me go back to the home screen and I'll show you. Back at the home screen, and then this has gone back to the home screen as well. So you're literally mirroring whatever's on this display, you're mirroring that one. So if you've got kids in the back, you can put on a Netflix film or something like that, and then it's playing. Obviously it's playing on here, but it's playing on the rear screen as well. Right, if I press and hold the back button, just to try the split screen option, as you can see there, we've split half between YouTube and half between our display, because I was wondering if I could get this to be a second screen. So this is like the split screen, but it doesn't seem to do that. It's literally just a mirrored screen. One thing it is doing is the HDMI is doing the sound as well. As you can hear, the sound is also coming out over HDMI as well, which would be quite good, because that means if you have got a film playing, you can leave it turned down on the car stereo, and then the kids or whatever could have the headphones plugged into the screen, and then they can listen to it just on there, which is one good thing, to be honest, because then you're not having to listen to, I believe, Peppa Pig playing on your car stereo while you're driving down the road. You can literally just have the sound coming out of here, which means you can plug in a set of headphones. So that's actually one thing that's quite good. Right, I take back everything I said about not being able to split it up, because as you can see there, we've got a mirrored screen. We've got the sound coming out of this screen here. It is coming out of here, but I can turn it down. If we go to these options over here, if I pull in that and then we go to this little options thing, you'll see there this one's appeared that says cast to HDMI. If I turn that on, what that's done is it's turned this one, look, back into the normal screen, and then it's made this one whatever was on at the time, it's made that one go into the YouTube screen. So as you can see, you can make it so it is casting onto that second screen. So I'm assuming with Netflix and everything else you can do exactly the same. Let's have a quick look. Let's go into the children's channel actually, because that's exactly what we'd be using this for, isn't it? So exactly like I said, Peppa Pig, because we know everybody wants to watch Peppa Pig. Right, so there we are. We've got Peppa Pig playing now. That's mirrored. We'll bring that little menu across, open the quick menu up, cast to HDMI, come out of that. We are back to a normal screen there, so we've got our navigation and everything else on. And the second screen, as you can see, we have got Peppa Pig playing there. And I'm sure if I turn the sound up, there you are, look. So the sound's coming out of these speakers there. So on the rear screens, you've got Peppa Pig playing, and on our main car stereo, we have got the normal car stereo stuff, so we can have our navigation and everything else. And if I turn the volume up on this, oh no, we seem to have Peppa Pig still coming out of this sound as well. I've had a quick play with it. I can't seem to figure out how to get it so it's got just Peppa Pig coming out of here. I don't know if you can, but to be honest, that as it is now, I'm sure is satisfactory for 99% of people. So they can put this on in the back and then use navigation and everything else on here. So that is actually really good. Right, so that was a look at the Ottocast P3 AI box, Android 12 system. And to be honest, that's a pretty decent system, especially with the HDMI output, so you can use that as a second screen, and it's not just a mirroring. That's a really good little thing, because I've played with those before on other devices, and they don't do the HDMI out that well. That's a really good feature. As I said, I'll put links down below where you can check these out for yourself. Check out my description as well for the discount codes and the discount link, so you can save yourself a bit of money buying one of these for yourself if that's what you want. The only thing I would have liked to have seen on there that wasn't on there is like an active panel. So when you're on the home screen of the Ottocast operating system, instead of just saying maps, let me just show you. So instead of just saying maps, just like this, this was a live panel that actually shows a map. So when you're driving down the road, it actually shows the map. You know, like in Carplay where it's got the map here. So it's actually showing a map, and it's showing the speed cameras and things like that, rather than a bit of a static display. I would have liked to have seen that. I've only ever seen one other make of these systems actually do that so far, but it's a really good little thing. So an active panel on this would make this system absolutely perfect, I believe. And what you could see from the latency testing as well, there was absolutely no delay on it. Everything was really bang on with the sound sync. So that's another good thing as well. And like I said, I'm going to do another video later on doing some latency tests across all the systems I've got, just to show the sync and latency of those systems that I've got, because it's one thing I do get asked for and I always forget to do it. So that's why I've done it on this video. So I hope you like the video. Subscribe if you want to see some more car tech and other tech and the camper build and things like that, because I do a bit of all sorts on here. Like the video if you liked it. Comment below anything you want to say, and I'll catch you in another video. Cheers.